Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to have to do better than that because I know this is the very, very first edition of the Fast Food and Cafe Convention here in Kuwait. So, once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. We are high energy. I like to keep it high energy. My name is Emma, and it's an absolute pleasure to be your host for the day. And during this event, we really hope that you're going to gain some amazing insights, have great discussions, make some new friends while you're here, and also some new collaborations as well. Does that sound good? Amazing, fantastic. And of course, this event would not take place without the support of our incredible sponsors. Our title partner is, of course, Kari, powered by RestroWorks. Our innovation partner, FlexiServe by Green Good. Platinum partner, Kraft Heinz and ICGF. Our hygiene partner, Diverse, and our gold partner, Go Fresh. And of course, a huge thank you to all our amazing exhibitors here today as well. And as always, I'm going to introduce one of the founders of all of this incredible event to come up to the stage and give the opening address. I want you to give a huge, warm welcome to the amazing George Mohan, co-founder of Oddbox and FFCC.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank every single one of you for being here, taking time off your busy schedules to spend the day at the Fast Food and Cafe Convention. To give you some background, we founded the Fast Food and Cafe Convention in 2017. It was a small event with a big dream, is all I'd say. What we wanted to do is put together an event that brings the community together, and we said, let's focus on quick service restaurants, cafes, and the casual dining space. The first event brought about 180 people in total that participated in 2017, and since it has been growing, it has been garnering the support of the community. We launched in Dubai in 2021, and we are super excited and anxious with our event in Kuwait. This is the first ever that we've done here. Of course, like Emma said, it would have not been possible without the support of our partners, Kari, RestroWorks, and FlexiServe, Heinz, and a few of the other partners you'd see outside. But more importantly, I think it's the team that really put their foot down. Most of you would have heard from Ankita, got an email from me, spoken to Minnie, heard from Sufyan, or coordinated with Bala. And these names, I'm sure, sound very, very familiar to everyone. And without them, the event would have not been possible. So I'd like to start with a round of applause for the team who have worked tirelessly to make this happen. And my second note is what our ethos is, or what we really focus on. We've always believed in three pillars, of putting all of our events together. And as you notice at the back there, it says learn, network, and collaborate. And everything we do is to drive that ethos in all of our events to make sure that we're there, we're present, we try and interact with every single one of you. We promote learning through the conference, through compelling topics that will help you in your day-to-day business, and not just a topic that's looking at where the industry is going to be in 20 years. Instead, what you could do to make your business better together, right now, and more importantly, share your learnings with the rest of the industry to thrive. Networking, of course, these events are based for networking. And lastly, collaborate. We want to make sure that we build a platform that helps each other collaborate, extending businesses, making sure that we're not just, doing business here, but also looking at the outside world, and in any way that we can support, we're always there. So again, thank you so much. I wish you all a very, very productive, fruitful, and a day filled with learning. If you need anything, we're here. You can reach out to anyone in the team. You'd see us walking around. If we look busy, we probably are not. You could just reach out to us. We're definitely happy to help. Have a lovely day, and thank you for coming.
Thanks so much, George, for that wonderful welcome. Now we're going to dive straight into our first panel session of the day. It is culture versus scale. Can your brand grow without losing its soul? Let me introduce you to our amazing panelists. We have Frank Herzog, founder of Brand Champions, Chef Marco Fiorot, partner executive Viganovo Catering Company, Chef Khaled Albecker, culinary director, founding partner of Ventry Group, Abdulaziz Al-Turaiji, CEO of Tabco International Food Catering, and your wonderful moderator for this session is Minnie Jacob, co-founder of Oddbox and FFCC. Let's give them all a nice round of applause and welcome this morning. And Minnie, over to you.
Thank you, Emma. Am I audible? Am I audible? Is this working? Can we check on this? Yes. Yes, I can hear myself, so I'm guessing you can hear me as well. I am delighted to meet all of you here today, and I look forward to meeting with you individually as well post this session that I'm having here through the day. And today I have the difficult task of talking to a bunch of amazing panelists on a topic which is very, very interesting. We're talking growth. Growth is amazing, but it's also got its own risks associated with it. When you're scaling, the one thing that gets affected the most is your soul, if I'm not wrong. And we're going to ask the tough questions today to see how can we preserve that bit that made you special when you started. How can you preserve that as you scale? How can you preserve that DNA that has given you the strength as a brand? So, welcome to my amazing panelists. Thank you so much for joining me here. And I will start with a general question for all of you. Is protecting brand soul very rigidly, does it harm the growth? Do you think it harms? And this can be just a short question, starting with you, Abdulaziz.
Well, thank you for having us at the beginning, and proud to be here with the panelists and the FFCC and your first edition in Kuwait. So thank you for coming here. I do think that scalability do affect some cultures. Our challenge internally is to take the company as you grow from a stage to another stage, but still act like a small company. So that's our major challenge when we talk about the culture and the diverse activities we have. Definitely when you have 2 to 3 stores, you're not as when you're 15 or 20 or 30 or maybe 50 stores of scalability. So yeah, definitely it's affected. As a culture, let's say.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you again also for having us. We're glad to be here for the first FFCC convention in Kuwait. And I think, of course, it does affect. You know, staying true to your soul and your brand ethos is basically very important to your expansion. It dictates where you can expand to and how.
Right. Chef Marco.
Thank you for having me here. I find it hard to hear my colleagues, so I
Because
will
they're
make it
speaking
easy
loud
for
over there.
everybody.
You need to be quiet a
We
bit.
have to speak louder than them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's shout then. Keep on shouting.
So yes, I think the soul of your business, it's part of the branding. It has to be seen the same way. So when you enter a restaurant or a cafe and you see the place, you smell the perfume, you look at the colors, you see the style of the service, the emotions that gives you, then this has to reflect the owners or the founders or who inspired that too. So that's absolutely important.
Frank,
Thank you very much. Great question, Minnie. It's very difficult for founders or owners or operators to be able to preserve their culture, but also be able to grow. To grow, you have to let go. You have to let go a little bit of something of your brand. So I like to use the 50-50 rule with 50% of your core values, your SOPs, your brand identity, but also allowing some localization so that your customer can communicate and feel comfortable with the brand, and also your international franchise partner can have financial success.
right. I think it may be a good idea to hold this like this because the noise there is quite loud. But starting with you, Abdulaziz, Elevation Burger's commitment to LEED standards and sustainable material is rare in the restaurant, as is sourcing the USDA organic beef. Now, as you expand rapidly, how do you manage to maintain those standards without diluting them? And have there been moments when you had to compromise?
That's great question. So when we talk about values in general, we believe that values are not there to be changed over time. There's something that you stand for no matter what. And values are actually going through test phases. And the largest test phase that the values goes through is crisis. In Elevation Burger Kuwait and Tabco, we've been actually going through these stages over the time. I'll give you an example during Corona, when everything was a bit difficult to let's say, operate. Supply chain was really affected during that time. And the biggest effect we had is when we had to our chicken is antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and we were promising the market to keep that as a value to stand for, as integrity, food integrity, let's say. We actually stopped serving chicken because we didn't have the values that we aim for, that we are actually operating to our public. And it took us almost 8 months, and the gentlemen over here would know that how can you survive without a major protein for almost 8 months. But we stood our grounds, and that was appreciated much by the public.
That I can imagine,
yeah. They really appreciated it, and it turns to be a great PR for the organization. For us, it was just a value that we stood for. When we go on scalability, when we talk about organic beef and LEED, the values are not the organic itself, is the food integrity and the environment aspect that we care about at Elevation Burger, and we hope those to grow forward. I hope that close enough for the question. So yeah, with crisis, you test your values. Values are not there to be compromised. If it's compromised, it's not a value anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good line to speak of. Chef Khalid, now when you first expanded into new regions and formats, which part of your brand ethos came under the maximum pressure, and how did you decide whether to protect it or adapt it?
Okay, I'll be a little vague because there's many parts to it, whether it's the menu, whether it's the offering, or the actual design of the place, or the service, the style we provide. If something is essential to your brand soul or your brand ethos, I think you must protect it at all costs. But the other things are flexible. That's where you can adapt. So I haven't entered into new regions yet, but if I was to go into a new region, as long as the soul of the restaurant is mine, like for example in Ruby's, we serve comfort food. So if I was to go into a new region or into a new area or a new demographic, I might adapt the menu with a few menu items left and right to appease or appeal to the local, the region I'm in, but I will not change the soul of it, which is still comfort food, family dining, and keep it accessible for everybody.
Moving on to you, Frank, on a completely different angle now, with your experience of having worked with Alshaya and Inspire brands and high growth brands basically, do you think brand soul is a tangible asset that leaders can manage, or is it just PR fluff, if I can put it like that?
Brand soul is a tangible asset. It's actually a requirement for brand success, in my opinion. Speaking of Alshaya, when I worked here about 12 years ago and was leading the growth of Texas Roadhouse throughout the region, we were blessed with an amazing franchisor from the United States. They loaned us 12 experienced managers to come over for 2 to 3 years so that they could not only show us how to cook the food and how to talk to the guests, but more importantly, to be able to communicate that brand culture and confidence on a 24/7 basis, so that the local employees could then absorb that culture and you would see the same success here that you would see in the United States.
Right. Chef Marco, you have moved from intimate, tradition-rich concepts like Viganovo and Giulia to large-scale central kitchens and even a gourmet burger brand, right? How do you preserve that authenticity and emotional connection of your Italian roots while diversifying into and scaling into such different formats?
Allora, I believe that everyone that knows me and enter one of my restaurants, even though has a different menu or a different design, someone can be more of a bistro, someone more of a fine, trattoria or a funny burger shop, but you can always feel my touch in it, from the soul and also from the food. You know, at the end of the day, you can feel that my fingerprint is quite strong on it. So, and even if I am trying not to have that finger, it's stronger than myself, you know, it's happening.
Right. So I'm sure the audience agrees that passion comes through, that Italian passion comes through in what he speaks, right?
Also, his face is on the restaurant, and he named the restaurant Marco's Burger.
Fair enough. Abdulaziz, I want to ask you about what you think when decision making is decentralized, when it is not in one place. Does it strengthen the cultural ownership or does it fragment it? What do you think?
It doesn't fragment it, to be honest. It's actually a challenge for all the organizations to step from being this center of the let's say the founders all the way to the team. That doesn't come overnight. It has something called culture, which we just talked about. Culture is a very vague word as much as it can be. But if you put it in the right places and you put the right strategies in place and the right processes, and you keep reminding yourself, why do you come to your office every day or to your restaurant every day? It's something that you can actually benefit from, and try to decentralize gives you the ability to scale on a larger phase, and make sure that you empower the right people in the right place, and give them the right decisions. I mean, sometimes it's difficult because the founders or the people who created that brand do have some connection. But again, if you want to expand, if you want to go out, you need to actually have such a thing in place. As Khalid just mentioned, if you're going to have a second brand, an Elevation Burger and the Tapco, or probably going and travel to another country, these things need to be done. But it's not an easy stage, but it's needed to be done to make sure that the organization is going in the right place. So there's a couple of examples related to that in the industry, and we're proud to see them. And actually, in other industries than the F&B, like technologies and stuff, Apple is a big name for that. NVIDIA is a big name on that. Company have been grown, but it's still truthful for its values and its operational excellence, let's say.
Right. I would agree with what Abdulaziz just said about how, because me as a founder also feels very strongly about certain things that we believe in and what we want to do. But I think what is very important is how you transfer that passion and that feeling to your team, and how you're able to get them to feel similarly. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think decision making, or let's say segregation of duties, and giving your staff that ownership of making decisions, once they have a feeling of ownership, they will continue to push the brand to progress further versus clocking in and clocking out. You know, I want them to feel like this is their brand, their restaurant, and my success is theirs.
Right. Of course, going off topic a little, hiring and retaining talent is another topic for another day.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel that when you are passing on that passion to your team, you really want them to stay and, like you said, take on ownership and continue.
Oh, for
right?
sure. I mean, and high retention actually really hurt the business. It's good to retain talents and people as much as it's retaining your customers.
Yeah.
My HR guys are here, so they're looking and laughing. But yeah, that's a very big
Yes.
challenge for them. Yeah, good luck.
I'm sure. So Chef Khalid, Little Ruby is being built on its identity on being a cozy neighborhood cafe. And how have you kept that intimacy alive as you have grown and across different locations? Because managing that intimacy, I think, is a different ballgame altogether, right?
We adapt based on where we're opening. So it has always been. I grew up with the brand, or most of us here. You know, I went from having dinner there in my teenage years to now taking my son as a toddler to go have lunch there. So it's really been a part of a lot of our lives and growing up with the brand. So over the time, how we progressed was adapting in the market in terms of menu items. So we just did a recent round of menu changes. We launched a completely new menu. The brand, and we actually loved Little Rubies. It's no more like Little, it's just called Rubies now. And we said the brand grow up, and we elevated the brand. So the brand soul is still there. I mean, we have a lot of the same dishes that we had from day one, but I had to upscale them. You know, dining scene has changed, many new people have come up, and I had to remain relevant, so we uplifted the menu in presentation, in ingredients, in plating, but the food is still the same. Burgers, pastas, pizzas.
Right. But do you think, you talked about different tastes, and there's the Gen Z and the newer generation wanting different things, and then you, of course, again, this is a slightly different topic altogether, but when you have to cater to them and change your menu, do you feel that you struggle with keeping that soul? Do you feel that there is a set of audience that still wants the old menu? How do you balance that out?
Again, it's balance. Menu engineering. I look at my bestsellers, what's working. If I have something that's not working, I'll drop it. And I want to attract new customers. So in my recent round, I have a lot of Arabic influenced items. You know, I used Arabic flavors because at the end of the day, we are in Kuwait. So I incorporated kofta and all these things into my menu in an American format that can be appreciated. And the same for Gen Zers. If there is certain dish they're looking, I believe in flexibility. If somebody walks in my restaurant and wants my pasta, but he doesn't want this, or he wants to add this, by all means, if I can do it, I want to make the customer happy. And that's our essential...
Customer is the king, after all.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, Chef Marco, tech, of course, brings scale. But which customer touch point will you never digitize, regardless of however much you get efficiency out of it?
Definitely the experience inside the restaurant. Nowadays, we don't go out just to eat. We go out to spend time, to feel emotions, it's not only about food. So for me, I believe that each experience, each segment, each type of restaurant, of course, if I am in a fast food, I'm not expecting to have a very customized experience. But if I am going into a more fine dining experience, yes, definitely. I was showing Frank yesterday, I was in the airport, I shopped some gift for birthdays of friends. And today in the morning I woke up and I had an email from the shop saying, "Hi Marco, I hope you enjoyed shopping at the airport, blah, blah, blah. I hope your friends liked the gift." So they knew that what I bought was not for me, but was a prime brand.
Right.
You know, it was like something, quite fancy. So you expect that service. But if it was an AI replying me, "Oh, thank you for your purchase, see you soon," I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Right. Same as at the restaurant. If you enter a restaurant where your price per person is can be enough to support also this expense, you must have the host or the person that represents the restaurant over there that smiles you every time you go and reminds what was your last chit-chat to them, and what water you like, and what did you eat or you didn't eat like last time, you know, like. So yes, the human approach, relations, wins over everything.
Great. I saw Chef Khalid and Abdulaziz both smiling when I asked this question. So I would like to ask you, what do you think are the touch points that you don't want to digitize? You want to keep that human touch
The
there.
ordering process. I will never have, or you order through a QR code. Never. The human element, like Marco was saying, is for me the essence of going out to eat. That human interaction. When I go in my restaurant and I greet you, "Hi Aziz, welcome back." And then it also comes into selling, like upselling. If he sits down and he reads an iPad menu, he's going to order a cheeseburger and spring rolls. But if I was there, there's always the element of, no, trust me, you want the steak. Trust me, you want the steak. He's going to listen. He's going to be like, okay, and you know what? Get the mashed potatoes with it too. And he'll get that too. So that human element of ordering, one, makes the customer feel special. When I remember your order last time, like, oh, last time Aziz, you had the steak, this time try the chicken. He remembers this and he'll appreciate it. And then even things like a QR code can't give you complimentary dessert. If you came to my restaurant and I remember you, I'll give you a complimentary, like a cheesecake. A QR code can't know that and will not give you that.
Yeah.
And that will make you feel very special and make you come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Me as a customer, I would say for sure that I prefer to place my order with someone who's serving instead of through a QR code. But talking about QR codes, just remembered, behind your badge there is a QR code, which if you scan that and fill in your details, you will get all the photographs that our photographer is taking in real time in your inbox. So please do remember to do that. I'm sorry, back to the panel. Yes, Abdulaziz, what would you say is the human touch point that you definitely don't want to change?
I totally agree with the gentlemen over here. It's an industry of people. We are there to share experiences on the tables and in every aspect of that business. But in our case, as a fast casual, we do tend to want to have the customers come in and check in faster than the normal sit down that the gentlemen are offering. But again, we're speaking about the iPad. I really hate that, man. This is just too bad to have an iPad in front of you to look at it. But we adapted to something different. So we added the digital menu so people can look at it, see it, experience it, yet at the same time focus on that experience on the POS. The person who's standing there, that just Khalid mentioned, suggesting new things, having a conversation. This is what the industry is.
Yeah, and of course the upselling happens as well.
Yeah, that's part of it. But the experience of creating the moment of engagement,
right.
it's priceless.
Right.
In other aspects, you need it to happen all the time. So digitalization do help you scale, that's for sure. But it also you need to be specific about what things. I had a comment one day in one of our lawyakers who used to work in our kitchens. He called me a year after. He says, I went to one of your branches and the team in the kitchen used to speak out loud asking about the next order. Currently, I believe the kitchen is kind of lack the culture. So we started to investigate what's going on in here. Yes, it becomes less loud than here. When we investigated that, we have installed something called KDS, which monitors the time of each and every product to meet the expectation of our customers, which is 6 to 7 minutes. And that eventually, the byproduct of that, since they have screens right now to look at, they started not to speak. So we tried to minimize screens اللي موجودة in the stores, and we made sure that they have more experience of sharing the knowledge of the next order that's coming up to them.
Right.
It is a challenge. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you do something, but you don't calculate for the outcomes.
It's a fine
Yeah.
balance probably, right? Frank,
Absolutely.
anything to add in there?
Oh, these guys speak well enough. I mean, they live it and breathe it every single day. So, and I think what really strikes home for me is their presence in the restaurants, in the operations. You need to understand your local customer. You need to have that interaction. Technology is a great assistance for us right now, but without that genuine connection, people will just continue to just order online and never go out. And they're coming to see people, not just food.
That's
You
true.
mentioned before to have a budget when you were working.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's interesting to
When,
say.
in my old bartending days, we had a budget where we could buy drinks or food for people who are coming in on a regular basis, who are by themselves, to make that genuine connection. And I said, I would just love it if I went into a restaurant going once a week for 6 months and somebody said, can I buy you lunch today? They already had me, now they really have me. So the first time that happens to me, I'm their customer for life.
Right. And now with your experience, Frank, of consulting as well, I would like to ask you, you've seen brands scaling, and what do you think, or what in your experience has been the most damaging compromise you've seen a brand make in the name of scale, and could it have been avoided?
This reminds me of a story that I was helping to grow a brand internationally, so it's on me a bit. It's a casual dining brand that you would all be able to identify, and it's got locations around the world. The next growth market was going to be Vietnam, and a very aggressive growth of 6 restaurants in 2 years. For those of you who may know Vietnam, it's a young, aspiring population. Doesn't have a lot of disposable income, and there's not a lot of exposure to US casual dining restaurants. So of course, as a US brand, we went in there with full menu from the United States, full pricing, expensive fit out, same atmosphere, and it did not resonate with the local customer. So what did we do? We got a bunch of consultants together and said, how can we resonate with the local customer? We switched the menu and made it 60% local. All of a sudden we have local ingredients and recipes that we don't understand and we can't support from the United States. So we went from one side to the other. Looking back at that, I would have taken somebody who was Vietnamese, who worked for the brand in the United States, who could have boots on the ground for a number of years and could bridge the gap between Vietnam culture and US brand standards. And so again, with these gentlemen up here, they live and breathe their brand every day and they can adapt to the local customer versus somebody trying to do that halfway around the world.
Yeah, and I'm sure all of them, as they step out of this country, would also adapt to the cultures accordingly, right? You don't have a choice there.
For sure. First, we're blessed to operate in Kuwait and this crowd as our customers. You need to serve their needs and you need to make sure that you're transparent to them, to tell them exactly what you're offering. And part of the scalability, as mentioned, global challenges is different than the local challenge. Wish you all the best, by the way, in Vietnam. It's a beautiful country and it's developing well during the next coming years. So good luck. So these challenges actually comes with a cost, as you said, and part of it is how can we serve our customers with the best direction possible, hopefully.
Right. So I noticed that we are almost out of time, so we have one last question to all of you, and we can just keep it brief. If you had to name one element of your founding ethos that must remain untouched, unchanged, no matter how big you get, how much you move around different geographies, what would it be? You want to start?
Well, we have three pillars that we're never going to sacrifice. Community engagement, serving the community itself. Transparency, from the moment you get into the kitchen, the moment you get into the restaurant, you see the kitchen in front of you and the ingredients that are being used. And definitely the last part, which is food integrity. The food integrity is important to us, so as much as you can be close to people and explain to them where you source your food at. We do have Go Fresh over here. They're our suppliers, and we're very proud of what they're doing. But we also go hand in hand with them, trying to empower them to go ahead and source locally. We have Mr. Abdullah Nouri here as a local farmer. Today we had a chat in the morning about them being with Go Fresh. Go ahead and inshallah visit their facility to see how is that business is growing, and this is the three major things. And one of the community engagements that we had is our local chef collaborations that we've done. And being here nearby, my friend and dear friend Khalid al-Bakr. Khalid al-Bakr was the second local chef that we've collaborated with back in 2018, and we done an amazing job at the time, and he continues to expand, mashallah, the knowledge, and we hope to see more chefs coming up with the credentials of Khalid, learn from the lead in the market and develop their skills.
Right, lovely, that's lovely. And Chef Khalid, you do a lot of collaborations as well.
I believe in the community, so the more we collaborate with each other, the more we help this industry grow, instead of everybody taking his own path. But for me, the one thing I won't sacrifice or change is the most important pillar is customer satisfaction. As long as our customers are happy across all our outlets, that's the most important thing.
Right. Chef Marco?
For me, I think if one day I will have the chance to expand, because of course outside of I think the most important value for me not to change is the humility. If you see, you come inside one of my restaurants, you see me cleaning the table, brushing the floor, cooking, or taking an order, and just to show, because this is me. And I believe my team supports me because they see me doing that. And the customer as well, they enjoy it. So I think the key is the humility.
Lovely. Beautifully put. Frank?
I like your term founding ethos. I think that word founder is very important for a brand. All of you founders out there, no matter how big you grow, make sure you have some involvement in your brand or you have a succession plan for somebody to take that on at a later point. Because the most successful brands are the ones that the founders are personally involved with on a daily basis.
Lovely. I actually love what each one of you have said because they each, that's brilliant. Growth will always test your brand soul, but I think what matters is how you respond to it. And thank you so much, my panelists, for shedding light and giving your insights. I hope you enjoyed the panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.